Hey there, I'm Further Eating, and today we're doing a let's play of Caves of Qud. For those of you who aren't familiar with Caves of Qud, it's a roguelike game, a dungeon crawler, in a kind of a sci-fi setting. It's like a post-apocalypse sci-fi, so like, you know, the whole advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic kind of thing. And it's just a really interesting setting, cool like transhuman stuff going on. It's pretty cool. I like it quite a bit. So we're gonna just, jump right in here, and I'll try to explain as I go. So we'll do a new game. When you choose, there's a couple of different options. Most important here would be classic and roleplay. Roleplay means that you get checkpoints at every settlement. Classic means that there's permadeath. I'm gonna do that. We're gonna do some permadeath. You can now make your character, but I've already made a character, so we're gonna actually go in and load the character I made already. And this is what we made, the Ghost Cowboy. So the Ghost Cowboy character, he is a mutant, and the whole idea behind this build is he uses phasing, this phasing mutation over here, to jump into another dimension. And with another dimension, he can't get attacked by enemies. Eventually, when I'm in that other dimension, I'll be able to shoot from that dimension into the real dimension. My pistols, because I'm a cowboy, I'll be pew-pewing from the other dimension, killing him. And eventually, I'll be set up in such a way that I could stay basically permanently in that other dimension and be completely immune to damage. Not maybe completely. There's some situations where still, I might be in danger, but for the most part, I'll be completely safe all the time. In terms of the attributes, I've set agility and willpower to my highest. That's because willpower is going to affect my cooldowns, allowing us to be phased all the time. And agility is used for our gun skills. I've dumped strength and ego. Strength is for how much you can carry, along with kind of melee stuff, which is important because we are pew-pew cowboys. And ego is used for getting good prices in shops. There's a couple of social debuff and buff skills that use ego, and also if you use psychic powers, ego is better, but we won't be using psychic powers. Finally, intelligence has been buffed up a little bit because we'll be using tinkering to build stuff for this. With this intelligence, I should be able to get to Tinker 2. I could get to Tinker 3 if I'm lucky, depending on if I get extra attributes later in the game. But this level of intelligence basically allows me to get to Tinker 2 pretty fast, at which point I can build the minimum I need to be able to be hanging out in another dimension and shooting people with my guns. In terms of my mutations, electrical generation will allow us to power our equipment with our own body. We can basically jack items into our body, and we're creating electricity to power them, so we'll be able to use that later on. Night vision and sense psychic, these ones are just, I had the points left over, so I put them in there. They aren't really that interesting. Although night vision, there's a specific invisible character late in the game that night vision will help me see, so I guess that's helpful. But these ones aren't really that important. Phasing, as I mentioned, allows us to be in a dimension, so invincible. It's very, very important. Spinnerets is a little important. This basically gives us a big old spider bum, and from our spider bum we can create webs. And when you're phased and create webs, it creates a special kind of web, and if you can harvest that web, you can then cook it in food, and that will allow you to stay phased for longer. So that's part of how we get phased forever, using these webs. We won't ever need to like level it up or anything. We just need like the one point of it so we can actually make the webs. And finally, triple jointed is very important. This is going to boost my agility, and also it gives me some benefits to my agility skills later in the game as well. So yeah, those of you who knew probably didn't follow most of that, but you guys will start to figure out mostly as we play. So let's go ahead and jump in. So here we are. We have now started the game up. On the 17th of Tirsu 2 Ux, you arrive in the oasis hamlet of Joppa, along the far rim of Morgary, the Great Salt Desert. All around you, moisture farmers tend to groves of viridian water vine. There were huts brought from rock salt and brine stock. On the horizon, Qud's jungles strangle chrome steeples and rusted archways to the earth. Further and beyond, the fabled spindle rises above the fray and pierces the cloud ribbon sky. Okay, so here we are. We're in the game. Down here we can see our character. This press space message and these two characters are actually from a mod that adds a tutorial to the game. At this point, I don't need them anymore. You do get a little bit of XP if you do complete the tutorial, but it's not that much, so I don't think it's worth the effort to do it. So we'll basically skip that. The first thing we must always do when we start is to talk this fellow over here, this little priest fella, because this guy, his faction, there's a guy who lives over here who does not like him. And if he wanders over here, he might get killed. So we gotta go and talk to him as soon as we can. No. Well, actually sprint to get to him. Go on, there we go. Good, okay. So, Wanderer, open the salt. Wanderer, orphan of the salt, hear me. To the north and the west, through the Great Salt Desert, the 6-day stilt splits the earth in two. Seek there the grandeur of Shekinah, first among the fathers. Release yourself from the burden of chrome that bears on your sickly flesh. Thou grow. So he's just telling me about 6-day stilt is one of the main settlements in the game. What waits for me there? Deliverance waits for all pilgrims. At the site you'll find the cathedral, magnificent in its splendor. There are statues erected in honor of the urgent fathers. There are sublime reliefs depicting most cherished occasions. Here, too, the wisdom of the Shellstat the second, a highest priest, and make a donation at the sacred well. Worship at the light sculpture of Shekinah himself. You'll find other pilgrims along the merchant tents, at the stilt grounds, bazaar, other converts and priests. You will be among friends. So this settlement is basically like a religious settlement, and this is a group that worship technology from the old days. At this well he's talking about, if you find technology, you can throw it down the well and get reputation with his faction. So we can tell him to go away. Basically, we can just say goodbye politely, or we can just accept the quest, which we will. And there we go, we have a quest. Cool. So now that we have to worry about him dying, next step every time you start the game is to commit burglary. So we're gonna pop over here and we're gonna pop into somebody's houses and we're just gonna rob them blind. There's no morality system. As long as no one sees us, they don't really care. So let's go ahead and grab all of your stuff. There's one over here as well, so we're just going to go here, close the door so no one can see us, and just grab all that shit and pop down over here. And there we go. So we can see one thing we're getting here is strange tubes. This is probably a chair. So again, technology, you know, this is like post-apocalypse. People aren't that familiar with technology. So when someone sees a folding chair, don't understand it's a folding chair, don't know what it is. They just see a series of tubes. So early in the game, you find these, there will be chairs. Later on in the game, you can find other kinds of strange tubes, and they can be like missile launchers and stuff. It's pretty funny. But for now, this is probably just a chair. So I'm going to grab all that. Let's actually examine it to see what it is. So I'm going to press I here to go to my inventory. Go down to our strange tubes. We're going to examine it. And we identify it. It is in fact a chair. So now we know what chairs look like. In the future, when we see a metal folding chair, it'll tell us it's a folding chair. We'll know what it is. So that's all good stuff. So that's now this initial parts. So now we're going to start doing our water rituals with everybody. We're going to start actually with this tutorial guy. So we're not going to do a tutorial, we don't need to, but I am going to do a water ritual. So certain characters in the game you can do a water ritual with. I'll actually just X off for a second. You'll know you can do a water ritual with them because they'll have like some text here telling you about the relationship with other factions in the game. So this guy, Kashind, Hindran Prior and Guide, he is loved by the Prior's faction, and he's admired by the villagers of Joppa, which is where we are right now, because he guides wayfarers. So we're going to share water with him. In this game, water is incredibly rare. In fact, water is currency in the game. That's how rare fresh water is. So a water ritual is when you share your water with somebody else. And because it's so important, sharing water with somebody is like a big deal. It's basically, you know, making like declaring them as your BFF. Declare them as your kin, your sibling. So we are going to share water. And we're going to do that. When we do that, the people who like him will get bonuses. But also some characters people won't like, and will get negatives as well. We'll see that in a second. So he's just telling us all about what I just told you there. We don't need to read that. But the main reason I did that is because we got a reputation with the Priors and with Joppa. This is going to be useful a little bit later. This is useful right now. So we're going to just go away now. Let's pop over to this fella. This fella is Mehmet. He is a farmer. He's loved by the villagers of Joppa. He's disliked by a faction known as the Gersh because he tricked them into sharing their fresh water. That actually makes him like a massive prick. You know, again, water is really rare. The whole water ritual thing is quite important. So he's like tricking people to give their water to him. That's a bit of a dick move. Mehmet, he's a bit of a dick. And he's disliked by the Finding Porridge Cabal for selling a map of the vaults to adventurers. This is probably one of the cults in the game. There's these procedurally generated cults, depending on the history of the game. Every time you play, it'll be a little different. And that's probably, I don't recognize this name, so I imagine these guys are probably a cult. I don't really care if they get pissed off on me, so I am going to share my water with them. There we go. And you can see now we are at 60 reputation with Joppa. And the Gersh don't like us even more. You know, there. And the Finding Porridge Cabal don't like us. It's down to minus 50. So for this guy, I want him to teach me Harvestry. This is so when you water rituals, you can ask for a secret. You can ask for a recipe. You can ask for a a skill sometimes, and also sometimes if you have enough reputation, you can ask them to join you and be like, you know, to be part of your party. So we are just going to learn Harvestry. Bam. That reduces our reputation, but now we know Harvestry, which is quite important. So now we are going to head up this way. I'm going to talk to this fella. He's the Warden. Warden Ularag. Big Ularag shifts his weight between his hind and forelegs. His shakes dander off the chipped surface of his great curling horns that splay from his temples. One hand hones a purring blade, the other a lame and frostbitten. The other lame and frostbitten reminds us that while Mother Nature may bestow splendid gifts on our children, she's still sister to cruelty. So he must, even though like he just looks like a person standing up, we can see between hind and forelegs, he must be like a centaur of some kind. He's got hind and forelegs, and he's also like holding stuff in his hands. So yeah, I imagine this guy's actually a centaur. He's loved by the Fellowship of the Wardens. This is a faction that has guards in every village in the game. He's admired by the villagers of Joppa because he defends them. He's hated by the Cragmensch, which is an enemy type, because he questioned the origins of the moon. So he was all like, where did the moon really come from? And these guys were like, fuck you, how dare you ask that question, you prick. And they hate him. He's hated by the Seekers of the Sightless Way, because he wouldn't let him into a library. The Seekers of the Sightless Way, these guys are a faction of psychics that can attack you. So yeah, we are going to share water with him for sure. And there we go. The Wardens likes us a bit more. Joppa likes us a bit more. And Cragmensch just despise us, and the Seekers of the Sightless Way also despise us, but I don't care. There we go. So now we're gonna go and talk to this fella. This is Elder Iridad. He's the mayor of the village. Let's check his deal. He's loved by Joppa, disliked by the Kit of the wife of Kajir for giving word of the kind of unfavorable horoscope reading. Hated by the villagers of Tagapad for sowing their fields with salt. This guy's that is a bit of a dick move. You like basically caused this village to starve. Jeez. Well, the Iridad, you're a bit of an asshole. So this is gonna be the villages in the game. There's some settlements that are static, many that are random. This is a random village because I know, because I don't recognize the name. And here, this is another one of the cults. So now we know names of two of the cults in the game. So we are going to share water with him. Now Joppa is up to 210. And these guys don't like us, that's fine. So now, at this point, I'm going to ask him to give me some secrets. Because there's a couple of secrets that he can give me that will make the start of the game a little bit faster. So let's do this. Location of Shambri Tower, that's probably some kind of ruins. Yep, there we go. Another secret. Okay. This is really good. This is a special pistol in the game. Special attack pistol. he's just telling us where it is. This is really, really good. This gives us an ego bonus, which is fine. But also, it's a very cool revolver, so it fits with our character really well. It's a really awesome pistol. But I'll show more about its lore when we will be getting this ASAP, because it's really good. That's really awesome that we have this artifact. So we have some more secrets to get out of them. The Mercury Korak, this is probably some kind of ruin, yep. And that's all we can get out of them at the moment. Okay, so we didn't get the specific one we were looking for, but that Rune of House Eisen is really good. Now I'm just gonna go talk to you, because he's got a quest for me. Some critters are eating a water vine. Farouk claims he saw one slinking around the vine patch. Ugly little thing, he says. Pale white, 8 legs, and ear-splitting wine. There was a bit of red dirt on the water vine pool. Same we find in the soil in a nearby cave to the north be called Red Rock. Travel to Red Rock, kill as many of these critters as you can, bring back the corpse of one too. Elder Iridad will reward your efforts. Okay, I will totally do that. So now we're going to head up north. We're going to look at this statue. This is Shrine to a Chef, the last Sultan. So the history of the game is procedurally generated, and in the history of the game there was 6 sultans who ruled over this region of Qud. Chef was the last of them, and he ended the sultanate as part of preventing a world-ending disaster. So he's always the same, and his law is always the same. But there'll be 5 sultans before him which will be different. And those cults I was talking about earlier, those cults will be linked to each of the sultans. And depending on what they went through in their lives, they will have specific factions part of their cults, and they will have specific items. There'll be like a team to their items depending on who they were and what they were interested in. So here in Tree AR, where Chef cleansed the marshlands of the plagues of the Gaia, and he taught Abraham to sow water vine along its fertile tracks. Thank you very much. Okay, good. So we've learned about that. Now we are going to head north, because there's a statue. The north of Joppa always has another statue as well, and this will be the first of our randomly generated ones. This is Naldocht, Sapphire Waker. In 2409 BR, Naldocht won a decisive victory against the combined forces of Turnip Homestead at the bloody Battle of Shegmes Dune. As a result of the battle, Shegmes Dune was so bristling with carnivorous geodes that it was renamed to Lucient Cragmire. So, what we're learning from this is a location. So this area the battle happened is going to be a location. It's probably going to tell us where it is. And also the name Sapphire Waker and the fact it was carnivorous geodes implies that Naldocht is really into gems. They're a big fan of gems. So that means they will have a specific theme to their artifacts. One of the fun themes with the gem artifacts is they can turn enemies into gemstones. So this is pretty cool. So I like that quite a bit. So we now know the location where the battle happened, and we'll be going there. We'll be going there pretty soon. So we head back here to the city. We're gonna head down this way to talk to Argive. Argive is it Argive? Yeah, Argive. He is a techie person, and he is going to give us a quest. So he's there busy dealing with stuff. He's talking about his unexpected deviation from the Clank constant in his work. Clank is actually a character you meet later in the game, so it's kind of cool that he gets mentioned here. But yeah, must you disturb me? What are you, some sort of treasure hunter? At the very least, make yourself useful. Bring me a knick-knack from one of the caves. I'll reward you. Where can I find the cave? There are caves everywhere, you dolts. This is Qud. Try the rust wells just east of here. I will return with a knick-knack. Okay, so we have one already, which is the chair. And there we go, so we got that one. And now he's going to ask for a second one. If we're lucky, we've actually gotten 2 of them from the burglaries at the start, but we weren't lucky this time. But we'll find another one pretty quick. Here we've got a Dromat merchant. These are like camel people, and they wander around selling stuff. There's like different tiers to different merchants. Finding a high tier merchant is like really, really good. This guy's pretty low tier though. Okay, so you'll see here already, he's got strange tubes worth 892. money down here. You can see here. So this is not a chair. We know if this was a chair, it would tell us it's a chair. So this is something else, something really expensive. This could be a pair of wings. Could it be at this cost? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I think it's too cheap to be a missile launcher. It could be a grenade launcher, maybe. I'm not sure. This is probably a grenade, and I can't really tell what these are. We've got painted furs here, so we can actually look at these to see what's painted on them. And this is going to be more of the lore of the randomly generated sultans. This is Naldoct again. That's the same person as before. Naldoct, Gemstone Born, Sour Bane, the Duper Bane, Sapphire Walker, the Pest of Sumresh. The Alamo Pest died of natural causes. She was 127 years old. So we know Gemstone Born cult is the name of our cult now. She has a bunch of names. We're not really getting any like useful information from this except the name of our cult. So, but that's still, you know, that's still some information, which is good. We'll buy all the bullets he has because we need them for our guns. Nothing else really. Oh, we have an engraved buckler. It's going to also give us some lore. Okay, the ancient Sultan Dawapos. This is a different sultan. This is the second sultan now we're learning about. While leading a small army in Sumresh, Dawapur had his legitimacy challenged by a pretender over an ordinance mandating the practice of wiring pairs of sandals to batteries. He won and had the pretender imprisoned. He was 24 years old. Okay, so this is Sumresh. Apparently he had an ordinance that mandated you wire sandals to batteries. I'm not sure if this is like actually like useful information or not. I think there might be like an electricity themed for some of the sultans maybe, but yeah, I'm not entirely sure. But this is still giving us his name and the name of his cult. Oh, and also this location. So now we have a second historical location. That's pretty cool. Yep, that's all good stuff there. So anything I want to sell him, I would think I will wear the bark armor. I will sell him the shoes. We'll sell him the staff. We'll sell him the bow. We'll keep this. We'll be using this later. I think I'll actually keep... no, I'll keep that for now. And there you go. So we're going to sell him 12 bucks. What we want to buy from is 1. And yeah, we can't really afford to buy anything interesting from him, so we'll do this. So he's going to give us 11 drams of water to balance it. There you go, so he got like 39 drams of water now. Okay, good. So let's go put some equipment on. So we got ourselves, that's 1 and 2. This is 2 and minus 1. I think actually, they're both this, yeah, this actually, like 2 DV is worth 1 AV. So I think this is actually better. I think we'll keep that. We will give him a torch. And we'll put the buckler on. And we got our revolvers. Ooh, that one's liquid. That's pretty cool. This means that it can't rust. Yeah, pretty handy. So yeah, let's actually sell this armor. We don't need it. Okay, damn. That was too cheap for us to actually get anything out of. And yes, this is everything done. So we're gonna head to the world map, and this is the world map now. This is the first time seeing it. So I'll zoom out a bit. This is the world. We're down here in this little marshy area. Over here is 6 Day Stilt. This is where we got the quest to visit. Here, this is the spindle. You may have seen that mentioned at the start. This is basically a space elevator. So this isn't like on the ground. This is actually just like going up, you know, coming out of the map, I guess, towards our faces. So this is a space elevator. We also have a couple of other villages. So this little mushroom village, this village here, and this area over here contains settlements that are always the same. There'll be other villages in the game. Actually, this place over here as well. This will contain some. This will contain a settlement as well. And the other villages in the game will be around the place in random places. But yeah, so we're down here. So at the start, we are going to the first thing I want to do is find a pair of wings. There are a pair of wings somewhere in the marshlands. I'm going to find them. And to save your sanity, I am going to do this. I'm going to cut now. Actually, I'll just explain how it works first, so you know you can tell what I'm doing. So basically, one of these squares is going to contain a pair of wings. There's someone made some wings. They tried to fly. They flew too high. They failed, and he fell down, and he died. So his corpse is in one of these areas. It's always random which one. However, it's always going to be one of the center ones. Let me show you what I mean. If I go to like this one next to it, and I head down. So this is me now down in this area. There's actually a crocodile over there. Let's see if I can kill the crocodile first. There we go. Okay, I accidentally created a lot of enemies when I did that because I hit someone with friendly fire, but it's okay. Can I wait till the morning? Yeah, I can do that. Okay, good. So, here we are in this map. Each one of those squares from the world map is actually a grid of 3 by 3. But what we're looking for will always be in the center grid. So I will go to each of these. I'll do auto explore. So my character will walk around. He's going to uncover all of the areas in the map. And then when he's done, we are going to go to the next one. We're getting some alerts there because these guys don't like us because we accidentally hit them with bullets, but we can just walk away from them, it's fine. And yeah, with that we've actually explored everything. He's now at the moment just kind of harvesting, it's fine. So it has been here. Now that we've checked everywhere we can check here, we are going to pop up back to the world map and we're going to go to the next one. Oh, we got lost. Okay. But basically that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be kind of going to each one of these, checking the middle and then leaving. But yeah, I'm going to cut it here as I do that because that might take a while. I'm not sure, but I'll use cut, and just with the magic of editing, we will come back when I have found the wings. Okay, so we're back. We still have found the wings, but I have actually leveled up. I've leveled up twice actually, but this is the first level up that's kind of important. So I figured I would record going through this part. So you can see here I'm level 3 now. I press X. I've got a bunch of skill points. I've got a tribute point. I've got some mutation points because I'm a mutant. What I like to do at the start for this build is I'm going to save up my mutation points because once I get to 4 mutation points, I can spend them to buy a brand new mutation. I might get something really cool from that, so I'm going to save up for that. For my attribute points though, I'm going to go straight into intelligence, +1 intelligence. The reason for this, I'll actually go to my skills tab to show you. This is my skills tab. It's going to collapse everything. These are all the skills in the game. You get these skill points whenever you level up. So here, for example, we have our agility, our pistol skills. We start with steady hand and akimbo because of our starting class as the gunslinger. Later on, we can get some more of them. The reason why I want to put my intelligence up is because of a couple of ones down here. So here in the tinkering one, we have a bunch of skills here for doing stuff involving building and messing with items, but most importantly we've got tinker one down here, which allows us to build bullets for a gun and grenades and some other kind of basic stuff as well. So I want to get this pretty soon. In addition, we also have which one is it again now? It is here in Wayfaring. We have make camp already, but if I pick up Wayfaring at 19, we can get wilderness lore for exploring the jungles, which will be quite important later as well. So I want to get to my intelligence 19 pretty soon. So we're going to just head back here to our character sheet, and I'm going to use that 1 attribute point to put our intelligence +1. There we go. This is also going to give us a couple of extra skill points. The more skill points you get depends on your intelligence. So we got a couple extra ones of those. So I'm going to pop back over to here. And now we could get... Oh, sorry, we could start going down to here, but I don't actually need to do it yet. what I'll actually do is, even though I just talked about how I need that to be 19, I don't actually need to buy these yet. So, because it's what happens is every 3 levels, if it's a multiple of 3 that is an odd number, you get a point you can spend. If it's a multiple of 3 that's an even number, it'll add 1 to all of your attributes. So I needed to make sure that we got, and the way I have this built is following that pattern. Getting Tinker 2 will end up requiring us to put all of our attribute points every odd level into intelligence until we get to Tinker 2. That's why I'm putting it in there mainly. But for now, we don't need to do any building yet. But if I grab Weak Spotter up here, it's going to give me some extra crit, which lets me do a little bit extra damage with my pistols. And for the entire game, I'll be using pistols, so this is quite important. So let's go ahead and buy this. Okay. So there we go. We spent our skill points, and we have 2 mutation points as mentioned, but we're keeping them until we get to level 5. At level 5, we will have 4 of these, and we'll use that to get a new mutation. Okay, and at this point we've actually hit about 30 minutes. So I think this is a good time to end the episode. So this is the first episode of my Let's Play series. Hopefully you enjoyed it. In the next episode, we are going to get our wings, and then we're gonna finish our guide's quests, and then we'll be ready to explore Qud in general. So thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll see you soon for episode 2.